They don't want this country to recover. They want to keep it in a perpetual state of lockdown. And they want a hell of a lot of people in breadlines, filing bankruptcy, losing their livelihoods, and homeless. All right, how you doing? Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. Again, my arm it's getting better, but you know, it's still kind of fucked up. So we're just gonna go over some subjects that I received some emails in regards to, and they wanted to get my take on some stuff. All right, so one of the fans emailed me and said, looks like Como killed 2 times as many people as was previously estimated or released in the news. Okay, so apparently New York has been caught undercounting the amount of individuals that they put on ice from these retirement homes. Due to the governor's order to put COVID survivors or COVID patients recovering from the illness into these installations. Okay, now this is a prime example of this thing called qualified immunity that comes into play. We have individuals running this government, working in very high up offices, making fucked up decisions that are costing people their lives and freedom, and there's nothing we can do, period, because of this thing called qualified immunity. All right, it needs to be fixed. Okay, I don't know the number of the individuals that New York has released that the COVID deaths from nursing homes. But it's even more egregious when you multiply that number by 2. And I believe there was some recommendations that came down from the CDC not to do that. And again, since common sense is a superpower that you can only find nowadays in the Marvel universe, that one would think that you have old, infirm people all in one area, and typically speaking, disease tends to wipe out old, infirm people. There you go. What the fuck? Next one. Apparently, the Republicans have handed to the Democrats no less than 4 second relief packets, and all of them have been declined by the Democrats. So what does that tell you? Well, my take on it is simply this. They don't want this country to recover. They want to keep it in a perpetual state of lockdown, and they want a hell of a lot of people in breadlines, filing bankruptcy, losing their livelihoods, and homeless. I really don't think the Democrats really are working for the American people anymore. I firmly believe that the Democratic Party is gone full socialist, communist, Marxist, whatever you want to call it. And they no longer give a fuck about the American dream and so forth. I don't know what lies in store for us after November, but let's just hope that enough voices like mine reach enough people that we can prevent that from happening. I'm just saying, this is bullshit here. All right, again, Kamala Harris. Apparently, there's a lot of second thoughts about picking her as a running mate because apparently she's causing all kinds of fractures within the Democratic Party. Who would have thought? Yeah, Mrs. I want to keep a bunch of people in prison, hide shit from, defense attorneys, and, so forth. Yeah, in fact, it's rumored that she's hated as much as Clinton. I find that hard to believe because, I don't like Kamala Harris at all. I don't. Okay, but I hated Hillary Clinton with a passion. That woman has a body count which is like 3 pages long. Okay, it just is amazing me. It amazes me, and it's statistically impossible that many people died or were killed or committed suicide who just happened to be involved in the Clinton businesses and their dealings. Okay, so I hope karma catches that fucking family hardcore and they get served up a giant kick in the teeth by reality. All right, some good news, I guess, here. Apparently Barr got the FBI attorney to plead guilty to some charges for doctoring emails that were used to get warrants from the FISA court. Now, the rumor is that a deal has been reached, and apparently some people are going to do some rolling on some people. I hope so. There's a lot of people that just need to get... I could go on and on. Listen, it is just ridiculous the amount of corruption that's going on in the government. It really is. And I don't know what can be done about it other than, a lot of people having to rise up and, I don't know, bad shit.
Up until the coronavirus, the millennial generation was the largest pandemic the world had ever seen. And the list of symptoms is longer than a walk to Mordor. If you have a useless college degree, live at home in your 30s, believe all women, always have an excuse for your failures, and think Bernie Sanders actually has good ideas, I got bad news for you. You've caught the stupid, and it's probably terminal. Weh? Luckily, there's a cure. Pick up How Not to Become a Millennial, a salvation guide for Generation Z, and vaccinate yourself against the soy. A link is in the description.
Again, we have Dr. Fauci doing some more flip-flopping. Okay, first of all, I don't trust that guy as far as I can throw his old ass. He hasn't seen a patient in like 40 years. He's been part of the bureaucracy. He's got his hands on a lot of patents that were, funded by taxpayer dollars that came out of a lot of universities, made himself stinking rich. Okay, that needs to be addressed all by itself. He's stating that he sees no reason why people can't vote in person. Okay, I've been saying that the whole time. People go to Walmart, Meijer, which is a chain up here, which is similar to Walmart. They go to grocery stores, banks, they wear masks. This whole narrative about the COVID-19 thing, I think it's falling apart now. It is apparent that the survival rate is somewhere around 99.6 to 99.73. Now, it's been going on since, January, February time frame. I've had about a dozen people catch it. Okay, I've all but one recovered. And the one that passed away was 76 years old. He was a 2-time cancer survivor. had severe heart problems, and, part of one of his lungs was removed from cancer. You can take that with a grain of salt. And all of them were treated with hydrochloroquine, zinc, vitamin C, and vitamin D, a lot of fluids, and they recovered in, between 7 and 21 days. Okay, now Trump's brother died. And, my condolences to the president if he sees this. I really don't like to see anyone's siblings pass away, especially younger siblings. It's a little on the painful side. And I'm kind of upset that there's public figures out there who are publicly stating that the wrong Trump died. What kind of shit is that? That is just bad form right there, you sons of bitches. Out in Portland, we're at like, I don't know, it's estimated somewhere between 77 and 82 days of rioting. The state police who were guarding, Portland basically are pulling out because the prosecutors are not charging or prosecuting anyone they arrest. So what is the fucking point of arresting people then? I don't blame them. So that means that the feds who are on standby more than likely are going to step back up to protect the courthouse. There's a lot of cops who are quitting and retiring from New York, Chicago, Seattle, and Portland. And if this continues, you're going to probably see a lot of civilians step up to the plate, and they're not going to be restrained by bureaucracy and so forth, and it's going to get ugly. I mean, this can't go on forever, and if they don't put a stop to it, sooner or later it's going to get stopped. The Second Amendment exists for a reason, and I believe some people are going to have problems from terminal lead poisoning. All right. All right, now outside Seattle, BLM is now going into suburbs, making demands that whites turn over the keys to their homes because somehow they no longer deserve them. They came upon them illegally or dishonestly, and they should just walk away from it. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, they're showing their true colors here. That they're just a Marxist movement, and they're all about extortion, thievery, burning, looting, and murder. Okay, I mean, actions speak louder than words. All right, now, here's another thing I found disturbing. Now, I don't know how I should go about this next one, but I'm not really a fan of InfoWars per se. Some of the stuff they talk about and they bring up is straight up National Enquirer shit. And I don't know if they do that on purpose to, get people to watch them and sell subscriptions. None of my business. But they had one of their reporters arrested yesterday, along with her husband, on a secret grand jury indictment that involved burglary, tampering with evidence, domestic violence, and obstruction of justice. And this happened right on the eve of the release of a documentary in regards to a shadow puppet government operating behind our government, which consists of a lot of government contractors, former generals, and the like, and politicians. And they have whistleblowers coming forward and everything. So what does that tell you? I find it hard to believe that a 29-year-old woman who's a reporter engaged in burglary or obstruction of justice, because for obstruction of justice to happen, you basically have to know there's an investigation going on and you are purposely obstructing it. if there's no investigation going on and you don't have knowledge of it, this is a bogus charge. And domestic violence, well, if that was the case, why would they arrest the husband and the wife at the same time? All right, tampering with evidence. Again, you would have to know there's an investigation or police were closing in on your location and you deliberately tampered with evidence. And burglary, I just don't see a mother of two, married woman engaging in burglary who is gainfully employed. All right, granted, she works for InfoWars, but, I mean, come on. I mean, it's insane. So, I mean, this is a short one today. I didn't put anything up on the board. I'm just covering a lot of shit that's going on in the real world right now. But this one's got me worried. You know, I find it very disconcerting that they go after this reporter and her husband on the eve of the release of this documentary, which has been released. It's an hour and 22 minutes long. I've only watched like 20 minutes of it. I'll get around to watching the rest of it. I might do a show on it. I don't know.